When we come back, Phil, the president of Orlando City, Orlando Pride, comes in along with Ashlyn Harris. She is the newest member of the Orlando Pride. She was drafted today. That's all upcoming on Real Radio 104.1. Phillips File for a Monday, 1-888-978-1041. As promised, Phil Rollins, who's the president of Orlando City Soccer, Orlando Pride, is in studio with us, along with the newest member of the Orlando Pride. That is Ashlyn Harris. Welcome to both of you. Ashlyn Harris is a local person from Satellite Beach, right? Melbourne area?
Yeah. Satellite Beach, Florida.
How does it feel to be back? Well, how does it feel to
Welcome
be part
home.
of everything?
Oh, it feels so good to be home. Today's been absolutely surreal. And I started, playing club soccer in the Seminole area, and to come full circle now and be home. I mean, my parents are so
Over
happy.
the moon, I'm sure.
Well, my dad's a little bit more happy that I'm on the show right now, more than me coming back to play, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, really? Let's get a little background. So
fan.
you started playing soccer when? Did you fall into it? Did your parents push you into the game? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I just like any kid, I played sports growing up, started, a few different things when I was about 5 years old, and kind of just had a dream, and I wanted to get out of the area, and I wanted to travel the world, and I thought I was kind of good at it, so I went with it, and here I am today. I've done a lot of things. I've won a gold medal.
Right.
I have traveled the world. I've seen a lot of places, and
Been a World Cup champion?
now, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
So Satellite Beach and Melbourne area, was there ever a draw to surf? Were you into that scene? Were you into a lot of sports, or was it just soccer primarily that you got involved in?
Yeah, I mean, I did everything. I surfed, I skateboarded, I played baseball, I played basketball, but soccer was kind of my ticket to hopefully make it one day, and I kind of stuck with it and wanted to get an education, and I knew I could get a scholarship. And
Where'd you go to college?
University of North Carolina,
Okay.
Chapel Hill.
And then from North Carolina, where did you fan out from there? Did you travel on your own, or were you actually involved in club soccer other places in the world?
Well, I played club soccer, and I got drafted just like anyone
Right.
does out of college, and I played for Washington D.C.
Right.
and then I played in Europe. I played in Germany for a little bit of time, and also Stockholm, Sweden. So I've been all over the place, and I came back and played with D.C. for 3 years, and now I'm home.
How did this opportunity arise? I mean, you're the team, Orlando Pride, the organization, had your eyes on several players. This is like the worst kept secret in Orlando,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they really
You're
are.
right
I
about
mean,
that.
Yeah, it
but
is.
anyway, so you had your eyes on Ashlyn
Yep.
from when?
Well, really, before we even knew we were going to get a team, when we were talking, there was some rumors going back and forth. We were talking a little bit about when would we do it, how should we do it, etc. And Ashlyn's name came up, and people were talking about the fact that
Right.
she's a local girl and she wanted to come home, and what a great goalkeeper she was. And just, Jim, this is a no-brainer, right? You take the number 2 goalkeeper in the country, a women's national team, and she said gold medal winner, World Cup
Right.
winner. And she's a local girl, so we get to bring her home, it's cool, it's fun.
Ashlyn Tally Hall, the goalkeeper for Orlando City, says goalkeepers. Let me try to get this right. Didn't he say the goalkeepers are not soccer players?
He doesn't consider himself a soccer
He doesn't
player.
consider himself a soccer player.
That's right.
That they're just so separate from what the rest of the team does on the pitch. Would you agree with a statement like that?
Are you a soccer player?
Well, I've always wanted to be a top model, but that never worked out for me. But soccer was a good second choice.
You could have
but
been a top
yeah,
model.
I
You could.
think every goalkeeper has their own analogy or analysis of what they are back
Do you feel
there.
removed from the team because you're standing here and they're all over there?
No, I don't. I'm the backbone of the team. I keep the team in the game. My job is to make that one or
Right.
two saves that changes the game. So I'm definitely a part of it. I'm a crucial part of it. But he probably has his own ideal of what he does back there and separates himself. But it definitely is a mind game. It's definitely a difficult position to play. You don't.
What's
touch
the most difficult part of being a goalkeeper?
Well, you don't touch the ball. Well, hopefully you don't touch the ball very much. So just to stay tuned in to what's going on. And, you may not touch the ball for 20 minutes and then you're expected to dive and save a ball that's in the upper corner and you got to be able to get your butt there. So you have to be tuned into what's going on and be able to make those saves that change games.
You can't be afraid. You can't be a goalkeeper and be afraid. You have to be
It's a very
bold
brave
enough
position.
to go leaping this way and leaping that way. And do you
I don't
consider
think you
yourself?
can be afraid if you're playing anywhere on the pitch.
That to me seems the scariest place to be. Do you think you're a brave person?
Yeah, absolutely. I think bravery is a huge component of our position. I take balls off the face all the time. That sounds terrible, but in a lot of different ways. But it's definitely it's definitely a very difficult position to play. You got to be fearless. I'm diving in at people's feet.
Right.
I get kicked. I get cleated in the face, and I got to stand back up and do it all over again.
Before we get to a background of your family, your extended family, so where are we with the Pride now? How many do you have signed up for the team? And talk to us about ticket purchases as well, season tickets.
Well, let's start with season tickets. They're going, Jim, extremely well. We couldn't be more pleased. We're well over 2,000 season tickets now. Inside, I think it's less than 10 days since we made the announcement about the Pride. So it's gone really, really well. Team building wise, as you know, last week we announced 3 players, which was part of a trade deal that we did. So we brought in Alex Morgan, Kaylin Kyle, and Sarah Hagan, all really important component pieces for us. And then today with Ash, we've added 9 players to the pool. Again, quality pieces from within the league, a lot of experience. And the next steps will now be for Tom Simoni and Paul to look around the world, at the international signings, overseas players that we can bring in to supplement the roster. We'll have about 20 players on the roster by the time we finish. And of course, the last component will be the college draft that Ash took part in a few years ago, and we'll take a few players out of the college draft as well.
Let me talk to you about this again. I mean, you've been playing soccer all over the place, and we've talked about this before. Based on your experience where you've played in other parts of the United States and the world, why is Orlando, do you think, become so? It's soccer crazy. There's no question about it. For the match between the United States women's team and Brazil, they announced, what was their announced attendance?
34,000, I think.
There were over 40,000 people. I've been to that stadium. No, I've been to that stadium enough. There were over 40,000 people in that stadium. Yeah. They were way off the mark in the count.
Yeah.
But it still rings true. This town, for particular reasons, is soccer mad. Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea why that is, or do you just say to yourself, I don't care, I just want to be part of it?
No, I mean, it's a credit to what the organization is doing. They've built a culture that people want to be a part of. I mean, this is why in Europe, these Europeans live, eat, breathe, sleep this game. It's because you're a part of something greater than yourself. And that's what people want to be a part of here in Orlando. They want to come. They want to be a part of something that's a winning team, and they get to come hang out and meet new people and celebrate different things. And that's what this game does worldwide. It brings people together.
What is it about soccer players that are different from other athletes where it seems to be more accessible to the public and to their fans? Is it just part of the culture?
I think so. I mean, Ash can answer this probably better than me. I think so, Ashley. I mean, I think I see soccer players around the world, whether it's in this country, in England, or wherever it is, they're just very accessible, and they're not aloof from their public, and they're connected. I mean, you look at Kaká, and you couldn't meet a more humble guy when it comes to meeting, a fan on the street. So and same with the girls. Ashlyn is a great example of that.
It just seems to me that in some other sports, whether it's singular sports or team sports, it seems to be a threshold. The more money you make, maybe the more aloof you become from the public. That doesn't seem to be the case in soccer or football, as we like to call it in my country.
What country are you? What is that?
Well, anyway, I mean, but it's true. Everybody's on an equal.
It is,
Pardon the metaphor, playing field.
Yeah, you look at the counterpart, Orlando City. Before a game, people like Darwin Saran, and he'll go out into the tailgate, and he'll just sign autographs to the fans and meet with people. It's just, I think most most soccer players come from a very kind of normal, humble background, particularly in this country. You know, there's been an element, Jim, of educating the public and growing the game, and I think everybody communally feels a part of that, and so you do what's necessary to help share this game with everybody else who wants to be a part of it, and you feel that there's no difference. And I think the other piece too, and we're kind of getting off at tangents, but the other piece too is I think the fans feel a part of the team more than any other game as well. They feel like they have a role to play, and they're part of the success of the team. Is that fair?
Yeah, and you got to create that connection. And by doing that, you got to be personable. You got to go out and talk to people. You got to make people want to come back. That's the hardest part.
Ashlyn Harris is our guest, along with Phil Rollins. You've seen movies or videotape of women's soccer from 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's always been, the past 2 decades, it's always been strong in the United States, women's soccer. But the game has changed. How has it changed in your view from 20 or 25 years ago to where it is now? Women are much more physical than they were. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I mean, the game's evolving, and clearly I was a kid when, you know, the women won the last World Cup in '99, but it's, you know, we're becoming more technical. A lot more money is going into the women's game. So just as a whole, it's evolving. Even when I see the younger kids come in now, I was nowhere near as talented and technical and smart as they are at their age. So it's just everyone's continuing to grow. The game is progressing. It used to be the U.S. was dominant all the time. And now you can see that the parity it's not like that anymore. Every team is investing, every country is investing into women's soccer. And it shows the strength on the standings, because at any given day, anyone can win.
Ashlyn Harris and Phil Rollins are our guests. Let me take a little break, and then we'll come back. We're going to talk about your family, your love of hats as well. You and I have an appreciation for hats. It's the Phillips Phile on Real Radio 104.1. Phillips Phile for a Monday, 1-888-978-1041. Phil Rollins is with us, of course, the president of Orlando City, the president of the Orlando Pride, the newest member of the Orlando Pride. Ashlyn Harris is with us as well. Tell us about your family. How many, we're talking mom, dad, brothers, sisters over in Melbourne?
Yeah, everyone.
Still over there?
Yeah, everyone's still in Satellite Beach. Grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles. You name it.
Is this a longtime Florida family or transplants? You go back generations?
Military family.
Okay.
From both sides at Patrick Air Force Base.
Correct.
Both my grandparents retired there. And my parents met in high school and had me and my brother and everyone else. And we've stayed ever since.
First time I saw you, you were up in the president's box, and you were dining, and at the time you were wearing a hat, and you were telling me, during the breaks we were discussing our love for hats, and how many hats do you have, or is it that's the one standby?
Yeah, I have too many. I have so many. I do.
Like women with shoes. Yours is hats.
Mine's hats. I love hats.
Because Breck Shea loves hats as well.
Yes,
or anything that he can put on his head. I like the one where he takes the T-shirt and kind of wraps it around. It looks like some kind of schmata from North Africa or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a love for hats, that's for sure. He probably spends a lot more money on his hats than I do. But
I don't know. I've seen those hats. I don't know how much.
I can't wait to get back here and share those hats. I want to take a few.
Now, you're telling me you used to play club soccer, but up in Seminole, right?
Yeah, I did.
Your dad took you to practice, and what's the deal with your dad?
Yeah.
We all have. It's funny. It's all not a symbiotic relationship, but there is a relationship. There's a connection.
He's part of the Phillips Phile family,
exactly.
apparently.
Is he listening now?
He's listening now. Hi, Dad.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Don't stop. I need all the help I can get.
No, we used to drive about an hour and 15 minutes to practice a few times a week, and he always had this station on. It's like been on forever.
After school, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How old were you at the time?
Gosh, high school. maybe 16.
Did I hear the standard? Oh God, Dad! No, I
Turn
don't want to
it
hear
off.
it. Turn it
No,
off.
come
Please,
on.
come on, turn it
No,
off.
we were laughing
This
the
is
whole way.
Stupid.
Put my music on, Dad. We want
You're
music.
so stupid.
No.
She's a fan, James. She's a fan.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to
The
hear
whole
that.
family's a fan.
So, give us another update where we are with the team, with the fan base, with the tickets. Give us an update on the stadium as well.
Yeah, teams now, of course, plural.
Yeah.
The MLS team.
Got three now.
Yeah, the MLS team took a week off, obviously, after the final game of Philadelphia. Back in training this week and getting prepared for a huge honor, actually, to go down to Brazil. We've been invited down to the 120th anniversary game against Flamengo in the Maracanã, which is probably one of the most famous stadiums in the world. So I know the guys are excited for that. Great trip down to Brazil. Wonderful opportunity to show off for Orlando City down in Rio. So that's those guys that are up there training away, getting prepared for the 15th down in Brazil. OCB, the second team, which will be out in Melbourne, will be playing out in Space Coast. Antipulis is signing players up for that, and I know several scouting expeditions have been undertaken, and we're going to really pad that roster out here in the next coming months, ready for the preseason. And then, of course, the Pride continues to grow. 9 players added today, and Tom Simoni and Paul McDonough are, searching again internationally for the rest of the players to add to the roster.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When he starts like that, you got a problem.
No, not really. Let me ask you.
Where's
Let me
this
ask you
going?
a
Where's
No,
this
let me
going,
ask you a
James?
I know.
question.
Okay, this is serious.
To me, many things I do, it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Once I get to the destination, it's like I got to do something new. I got to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Orlando City now, MLS.
Yep.
You've got Orlando City, the B Squad.
Yep.
You have the Orlando Pride.
Yep.
Once it's all together,
Yep.
You're good?
You're good.
Yeah, we've got pretty much all the pieces in place.
I mean,
Yeah.
you personally, I mean, do you think about that? Say, okay, I mean, this journey has been absolutely terrific from 5, 6, wherever it started back in Austin.
Yeah.
And here we are now. I got the teams. The teams are complete. And okay, I've reached that destination. This has been a dream of yours forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
but
what?
we've got
And then you win.
we've
You
got
win
a
some
stadium,
cups and
we've got a
championships
stadium
in this.
to open up a year's time, and we want to see.
But what I'm
obviously,
asking is,
both these teams in there.
are you the type of person who looks forward, okay, 5 years from now, I know I'm going to have some MLS championships. I know I'm going to have the Orlando Pride is going to take some championships. I've got. What do you do? Not what do you do, but do you think about
What the
doing
next
something
chapter
else?
is.
I mean, could you see yourself going, all right, I accomplished those things. And I'm still affiliated with those things, but now it's, and you just take a right turn into something that's completely unexpected.
Look, it's true to say, you know me well. You've known me for a while. I'm driven by creating things and building things and developing things, and it is a wonderful journey. We keep adding pieces to it. I want to see us win championships. There's a long way to go. I want to see us win championships and bring championships here to Central Florida. And there's more pieces to go. Wouldn't it be great to have 6 or 8 Ashlyns playing on the women's team and 5 or 6, men's equivalents playing on the men's team? And there's a lot of stuff to do to build this club out.
I know you well enough, and I know you're saying to yourself, this will be accomplished. There's no question that Orlando City will win the championship. There's no question that the Pride will be successful and win championships. There's no question about that. I'm just wondering whether in the little downtime that you have, whether you have any moments of reflection and say, oh, geez, what am I going to
Now what?
5 years, 10 years? I mean, where do I want to go? I mean, you were in business and very successful.
Yep.
But when you're in business, were you saying to yourself, what I really love to be doing is having a major league soccer team or own Stoke or whatever it is?
More than that, James, I think, I'm always planning for the future. That's true. I don't tend to go out 5 years because I think it's too long of an horizon, to be honest.
Okay.
So I tend to plan around 2 and 3 year periods because I think that's more, I can envision where we will be in 3 years' time. 5 years' time for me, I know based on experience how much shifts in 2 to 3 years, that 5 years is very difficult for anybody to predict. But 2 to 3 year moving goals are what I work on mostly. And that's what I set for myself and what's set for the soccer club. So that's the way what we'll work towards. And I, more than anything else, I'm opportunistic, if I'm honest. It's when I see an opportunity,
Right.
It's like, okay, that's where we need to go. And that's really the pride. You know, this was a great opportunity, I think, at absolutely the right time for this community, for these young ladies, for this league, for soccer generally in this community. It was the right time to do this, and we'll be successful because the time is right.
Do you think people are born with the touch? And I mean by that, there's certain people, they just have the ability to look at something and take advantage of it. Not to be greedy or anything, but they just have that. It's an aura about them, and they just whatever. There's 9 out of 10 times, 99 out of 100 times, they're just successful. I mean, it's. I don't know whether it's serendipity. You know what I'm saying?
And do you consider yourself
because
one of
other people
those?
who try, do this, and it just doesn't work out for them. Other people, are they lucky? Are they smarter? Are they born with some kind of touch? Whatever they do, I know a couple of people. Whatever they do, it just magically.
Do you consider yourself one of those people?
No, I don't. I don't consider anything that I've done to be exceptional at all. I consider, look, if this were exceptional, trust me, I would not be doing it, right? Because I'm not up to it. It's like this is all ordinary workaday stuff that anybody can do, and I believe that. I mean, you can do this. You can do what we have done if you apply yourself and work hard enough and just be aware and be open to what is around you. And you can do it. And I think most people have, if you call that a touch, I think everybody's got that touch. What they lack typically is the self-belief to go and do it. So it's about taking opportunity. It's about...
Is it a matter of confidence?
It's about not being afraid. Well, I think mine's probably born out of naivety. I don't quite know what the downside of any of this would be. Right? So it's like, what should we do next? But you take me and you put me into, I don't ride fairground attractions because it scares the bejeebers out of me.
Okay.
It's that one little pin, it's that one little pin that can pop out, and whatever you're sitting on, goes flying away.
Yeah. Well, I just don't like the feeling in my stomach. I mean, it's like, oh,
So you're not a roller coaster guy.
I wouldn't go near them.
How about a Ferris wheel?
No,
That's,
nothing like that. No.
No, really?
No, feet firmly on the ground. I have no need to experience that feeling. It's like,
So
I've done
bungee
it a few
jumping,
times. It's
nothing.
like, no,
Let me, Jack,
no,
where are
certainly
we?
not. No.
Where are we time-wise?
Time to go.
Do I need to break?
Yeah.
Let me break. Let me get a couple more minutes with you. Can hang around, or you have to go
No,
TV?
we got nothing better
You don't
to
have to
do.
go to
Don't go
shot,
to
do you?
Nothing better to do.
God didn't mean for pictures to fly through the air. Yeah, you don't need to go see the shot doctor either.
No, certainly
It's
not.
the Phillips
Definitely.
File on Real Radio 104.1. Let's get a check on the news right now. Mr. Pinkman has the headlines.
Tallahassee hit 89 degrees today, breaking the record for the hottest November day on record. The UN is reporting that more than 218,000 migrants crossed the Mediterranean in October, a new monthly record for that. And Google has announced they expect...
Phillips File for a Monday, 1-888-978-1041. Phil Rollins is with us. Ashlyn Harris was with us. She's the newest addition to the Orlando Pride, but she's doing some promotion work for us in
Jack's
another
not letting her out of that room, I think.
studio. So,
When Jack has done this with all the other players, right?
They were quick, in and out.
Yeah, they were
Sure.
in and out. Like, just, I don't know how long he's been
seconds.
in there now.
I don't
right?
know exactly what.
Something, it's,
Yeah.
this is not right, Jack.
Strange,
This is
huh?
not right,
Really
we're just
not right.
saying.
Everybody else was
You know,
really
everybody
quick.
else
This
is in
took
and out.
way too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how do you stay in shape, Ashlyn? I mean, do you have downtime? Do you focus on this all the time, staying in the best shape you can?
Yeah, I mean it's my job. It's not, you can't just let yourself go. As much as I wish I could, but no, I gotta stay
You don't have
fit.
to stare at me so much
Hey.
when you say, let myself go. Yeah,
Wait,
it's
what
like-
is the food that you would let yourself go with? If you could let
think-
yourself
you
go,
know
what would
what?
you pick?
I love macaroni and cheese. My grandma makes the best macaroni and cheese, and I could eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But unfortunately, I can't. But anything is in moderation. If I really want something, I'm going to eat it. I work out enough where it's not going to be a big deal. But I like to keep myself in shape. I think it's important to keep me healthy and injury free. So I make sure I'm doing weights. I'm doing all the prehab things I need to be doing to keep myself on the field as long as possible.
We were talking about this when you were in the other studio a little bit, and I refer to it as a buzz, a white noise. Phil and I talk about business or our interest or this and that. I think you might say it's 24 hours. I mean, what you're doing now, it's a 24-hour operation.
Yeah.
I kind of have that a little bit. I mean, I have 4 hours when I'm in the airway, I have to be active, but there's always in my mind something I can feel it. You know, it's always, I'm looking for something, listening for something, trying to read something that will be used for the program. Do you think that way about soccer? Is it always about soccer with you?
No, I think it's just like life in general. You have to have a balance. When I get off the field, I'm Ashlyn,
Right.
not Ashlyn under the lights. It's very different for me. I have to be able to turn it off to be energized to do it again the next day.
Yeah.
And it is a full-time job, but there's also a time where you need to be you, and the person I am on the field is very different than the person I am off.
How so? Are you much more? You have to be much more intense.
Like I
and
always
more
say, my
focused.
job doesn't define me. You know, I'm a regular human being just like anyone else. I love to do, different types of things. I have hobbies. I have likes and dislikes.
What hobbies?
I love to surf. That's one big thing. I surf all the time. I love to skateboard. I'm really active. I love to hike, and I love to be goofy. I love to go out. I love to hang with my friends, and I'm very professional and very, very intense when I'm on the field.
Yeah, Mr. Pinkman over here with the cap on. He's a big time surfer.
look,
He likes waves.
I'm a big deal.
Poser.
He likes waves that are about 1.5 feet. Those,
like Coco.
those ankle busters or whatever you call them.
The big ones.
Oh gosh.
So he's big on the surfer language. I don't know if he's very big on the surfing
He also
itself.
was a goalkeeper for 5 seconds.
We have a lot in common.
You ever see that?
right.
If you get the chance,
you should see this
the
video.
video's flying around. Lenny probably has the video.
They
I'll
a couple
repost.
of people shot at Pinkman, and it was embarrassing.
Oh, how
They-
dare you?
They broke his glasses.
Yeah,
They-
it was
talking
Ian-
about shots on the face.
Ian Fuller and Tally Hall, they were
That's right.
taking shots, and Pinkman wore his sunglasses, in front of the goal, and they didn't last long.
Amateur move. Right there.
Oh, no. Tally Hall told me to do it. He said it's science protecting my eyes.
Yeah, not the
No,
best
not good.
move.
No.
Best move at all. He's completely gassed out after about the second shot on goal
no.
where he couldn't move
I was
anymore.
good.
He was loopy.
All right, bring us up to date, Phil, one more
Yeah.
time. Stadium is still
Underway, working
Still
hard
on-
on track,
on schedule, as we like to
schedule,
say.
Stop it, would you
End of
please?
next year, yep, end of next season for sure.
So nothing's nothing's behind on schedule.
Nope. We're
Where
doing
are they
well
now?
right
They're
now.
not still digging, are they?
Well, there's a lot of digging to do. Maura.
They are. They're still digging.
They're going to go down a long way. They're
I
gonna,
see.
Yeah, they're going to go down. You remember we're taking it down below below
that's true.
street
The-
level. So we're actually digging out for the stadium. We're digging out for the drainage system and the expansion tank and everything else that takes the water away and filling the corners in and putting the foundations in place. So yeah, there's a lot going on down there.
How many magnets do you have to hand out? I mean, is this going to be
Magnets.
Magnet
So-
City again
So,
with the Orlando
two
Pride?
things real quick. So
Yeah.
first of all, we're now, would you believe it or believe it not, over 300,000 magnets distributed.
For Pete's sake.
I
The
know.
Pride are just.
And the Pride have started, and I think I'm right in saying, Ash, you're going to go down to Lake Eola tonight and hand out magnets,
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna start tagging things all over the city, so hopefully I don't get arrested.
No,
for
hopefully
trespassing.
not. You know the question we always ask the soccer players when they come in, and that is, if you weren't playing soccer, what would you be doing other than this? If you could have any other job, if you could imagine yourself with soccer taken out, what did you always think you would do otherwise?
Well, if
It'll
you
be
can
interesting.
tell, I'm covered in tattoos. I would love to tattoo. I'd love to be a
Really?
tattoo artist.
She's a tattoo
Yeah,
artist.
When you got your first tattoo,
yeah.
what was the response of
Your
your
mother.
parents? Because I have tattoos, but mine are old school. They're not jail tattoos.
Oh gosh.
But these are from decades ago. I mean, what was the response when? Did you say, "Look, I'm going to go out and get a tattoo,"
And came
or
out
did
with
you
a
come
whole
back
sleeve of-
home and you had a sleeve or you had partial? What was the?
My parents from day one, I was a crazy kid, and they just learned to let me be me.
Very
And,
cool.
Yeah, and they have supported me and
Just make us proud.
You know what?
Don't get in
yeah, for me, like a lot of people write in journals, and I just write on my body. That's my story, and this is who I am, and it's my skin, and I'm gonna bring it to the grave with me and wear it out. And
So you have one sleeve. Are you going to do the other
I
arm as
have
well?
sleeves, I have side pieces, I have legs.
Right.
A lot of me is taken up so far. I have 30 years of a story on my body right now.
Nothing wrong with
That's
that.
awesome.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with the team. Thanks for stopping by. It's always a pleasure. I wish sometimes we didn't have all these commercial breaks. I could just get that flow of conversation going. But, after 27 years, it's not going to change. It's just not going to change.
It's not going to change.
I just
James.
wanted to be Charlie Rose, and that's not going
That's-
to
it's
No,
not
that's
gonna
not
happen.
happening either.
It's
No.
not happening.
Well, you never know. I mean, you could get into that. Like the next career.
Oh, my next career, I keep telling everybody, when it's finally
Yeah.
over, I take this with me. I think I've told the story before. I take this with me.
The mic?
And I travel the world. And the first place that I go and somebody says, "What is that?" That's where
where
I
he retires.
That's where I retire.
Really?
Yeah. When they don't know what that is, that's where I retire. Exactly. Hey, thanks for dropping by. Good luck
Pleasure.
with everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
What do
you.
you want me to do?
You can take a break now.
All right. Phillips Phile on Real Radio 104.1.